I like to make sure that I'm giving them good, challenging questions to ask the franchisor. This is a life investment. This is going to be somebody's really putting a lot out to open this business, and so these are good questions that you should have good answers for or understanding, no matter what brand it is.
Welcome to the Zero to Profitable Franchise Podcast, the best place for you to come to figure out the right franchise to buy and how to get and stay profitable. My name is Tarek Johnson, and I've bought, grown, and sold multiple franchises and got myself free from corporate America, and now I'm on a mission to help you do that too. Here you'll find some of the most in-depth profitable franchise secrets, tangible strategies, and specific mindsets to help you create your dream life through franchising. Another role that we play is like a coach and holding people accountable to what it is that they say they want, reminding them of that. Kind of like a personal trainer, right?
Sure.
When you're like, hey, the reason why I want to get in better shape is because I went and sat on an airplane and it was a little bit tight or whatever. I'm trying to play with my kids, right? And I'm finding myself out of breath, and there's this deep why, right, behind it that they're tapping into of the reason why they're looking to own a business or buy a franchise. And as you start going through the process and the due diligence, you lose the sense of that emotion and why you were looking in the first place. And another example, real life example, was a guy that I recently started working with, and we talk on we have our Zoom meeting, and he's like, man, I really want to do something on my own, and that I'm in the oil and gas industry and it's so volatile and this and that, and he had some really strong points of why he was interested in buying a franchise. And so I get an email from one of the franchisors like, hey, we've reached out to this guy a few times, we haven't heard back. So I reach out to him like, hey, they said they reached out to you a couple times, haven't heard back. He's like, sorry, man, I've just been super slammed with work. I go, totally get it. But sometimes you got to put yourself first if this is really that important to you. So if what we talked about in our first meeting about like why this is so meaningful for you, then are you really going to let the busyness of work get in the way? So,
that's fair.
And then I get an email literally like within 24 hours that he scheduled his call.
I'm scheduled to be on the call. Yeah, but again, that's a great point because that's a part of our job. But it also may be, it could have been that
it's not the right time or the right fit.
The response
and that's fine.
The response could have been, I'm not scheduling it, Tarek. I don't have the time. Get off my back. Blah blah blah.
And that's perfectly okay.
And that's what we have to accept as brokers. Yeah. We can't. We're not. When people who don't know what I do, who are friends of mine, ask me and I explain it to them, I always say, we don't spend 1 minute of time convincing anybody that they should buy a franchise. I don't ever tell anybody that. I assume that they're on the Zoom call with me. We work for a company called Franchise Empire. We're franchise brokers. They know that, so they're on the call with me. They want to talk to us. And again, we don't spend 1 second of time convincing them that this should be for them. If we did, we'd be really bad at our jobs because that's exactly what we're not doing. So that's a great point. And again, what it does, and again, we're very lucky because we have a lot of people that we talk to. When you get that person who you realize isn't going to go through, and you say thank you, but we're not going to need to go through this anymore, you just freed up another time slot to get somebody else in. So it's not the end of the world for us in any way, shape, or form, which you and I joke about a lot. From the world we came into now, it's a little different for us mentally that way, but this is a lot better. But again, it's not for everybody, and I think really good franchise consultants or brokers have to be prepared to tell somebody that. And I think sometimes people don't do that either.
I like to make sure that I'm giving them good, challenging questions to ask the franchisor. Coming as a franchisor,
point, yep.
I'd be like, oh, great, I have to answer that question. Well, it's a good question. This is a life investment. This is going to be somebody's really putting a lot out to open this business. And so these are good questions that you should have good answers for or understanding. So, when I go through the whole process, our follow-up calls, I'm saying, hey, these are questions that you should be able to get some answers to, and no matter what brand it is.
Great point.
And sometimes I think that's the trust, and that is the therapist side of things, of just to say, this isn't about making a sell. This is making sure it's the right fit.
Yeah.
Hey, before we go, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Please subscribe here on YouTube if you haven't already. And the biggest thank you that you could ever give me is to share this episode with someone who you think will benefit. That means that we can share this message with more people and hopefully positively inspire them like we have you. So thank you. And until next time, go build your empire.